Good morning, Northeast Radio SD. That was Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. Well, I just put it in there, so I wasn't sure, but we just got it. So you're listening to Northeast Radio SD. Generally, we know what we have on there. I'm Steve Jerns, Doreen Foster in studio. We also have a special guest with us. We have the Watertown Regional Airport manager. Is that your official title, or do you have like a more
airport
one?
Aficionado?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you choose.
Ian Meriwether Chalfont.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but you kind of just do the Meriwether, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ian Meriwether.
It's just easier and not so cumbersome.
Yeah,
because you introduce yourself, Ian Meriwether Chalfont. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So,
but I like it. It's got a little sophistication to it too. So
it's too long for your ID.
Oh,
when I go fly, I have to squish it all together as one word. Oh. Otherwise, it won't fit on the boarding pass.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of boarding passes,
mm-hmm.
you do run the airport there, which people need to have sometimes to get on, right?
Yeah.
So tell us, recently you've done some changes there. There's some more that are in the works. But one thing I thought that was really interesting that I don't know if many people are aware of, that it would be kind of cool to kind of have on record, but to talk a minute, was this recent, like, do you know much about where they uncovered this little development piece, and it was like goes back to 1913 or something, that old, like the government re-signed it over and said that we can develop it or something now. Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Are you the NEAP release?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's wild.
Those are put into provision. So it's National Emergency Use Provision, which essentially dictates excess surplus airport land to be used by the Department of War, Department of Defense, whatever you want to call it, in the event of wartime. So wartime happens. That's why the vast majority of our nation's airports are subsidized so heavily to keep it in good, upkeep mm-hmm. and solid running. So if something ever were to happen, that's what would happen, is the federal government would come and say, hey, we need to utilize some of this for staging, maintenance, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, okay. All mm-hmm. right. And so this dates back to early 1900s, and they basically released an area so that we can utilize it for some economic development, per se.
And it could always technically be utilized, but you couldn't technically sell the pieces. So once that release is done, then it's our land, essentially the city's land, of, to do what it will, even though they've already been conveyed, but now it's fully cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that you had a little hand in, kind of helping get that released. And you, from what I understand, you've been helpful in finding ways to, keep the airport kind of efficient, if you will.
Well, it comes with, a little bit of experience knowing, land usage and proper channels, how to get certain things done. And this process was started years ago. It just kind of, if you don't pursue it, then it just kind of, I wouldn't say dead in the water, but, you got to pick up where it was left off. So, mm-hmm. As administrations change and that sort of turnover happens, then you get different people you have to connect with. So it's just a continuation of efforts.
Sure. Okay. So when we get back kind of to the airport and maybe basics, if you will, a little, maybe the biggest change is the recent, it's kind of the federal DOT that makes that decision. But now we have the flights that go to Denver and Minneapolis, St. Paul. Previous was kind of that Chicago route. How is the transition now that it's been going for a little while?
Yeah, it was a little slow to start. We kind of assumed that with how Denver Air was marketed, how these routes would change. And essentially you're trying to, steer people into a different buying habit, and that takes some time. So right now I think our first month we were down 22% over 24. Then it halved to about 10%. Next month, 5%. Then we're up 5%. And then December, we were down just about 4%. So we're kind of teetering right there where we left off for the last year. But January, we're up 7%. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. And so what you find, like it's business related or maybe even just families that are kind of jumping over to Minneapolis for a little quick trip or?
Yeah, Minneapolis, that was the biggest reason for January kind of weathering that storm of January, February traffic of being typically industry wide as the slump months. But, as the numbers came in for Minneapolis, we were at 513. And previously in 25 for Chicago, we were at 358. So that was about a 43% increase from that leg switch. So, but yeah, Minneapolis technically the tendency is business travel usually in that morning slot because not everybody wants to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go fly. Mm-hmm. So you've got your option of hitting Denver to get to where you need to go. And it's also direction of travel, right? A lot more East Coast travel tends to flow through Minneapolis, whereas West Coast travel in that later time slot, it's easier to connect to your San Francisco, Seattle's. Portland, for some reason, is our number one connection through Watertown, which kind of blew my mind once we got those statistics. But, the traveler dictates what the top 10 are. So,
really? Okay. So a lot of people are traveling from this area to Portland. Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So are you finding, because that also had a switch, is it airlines? Is that how you'd say it? Switch airlines from Denver Air Connection to Sky West, right? So
correct.
Has that been a good transition to?
Yeah, I mean, Denver Air was great. Sky West is great. The communication's been phenomenal, and that's kind of all you ask for, especially with a startup like this. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of equipment's delivered, a lot of SOPs change, and it's just been great talking with United and Delta and Sky West all in the same room to try and fine tune this route because they want to see it succeed just like everybody else, so that's their top priority. So it's been good.
And the benefits for people now is you can easily book your flights and your luggage and all that. Being connected with United, you can, essentially it follows you everywhere without having to stop, grab everything and recheck in and so on, right?
Right. Yeah. Interline agreements versus like your actual code share agreements. When you book your itinerary or your ticket, it looks like it's not Sky West, it's United or a Delta. And for us as smaller market, it's huge to have those options. And that's kind of what EAS is about, is the available options for our traveling public. It's not just run simply to be the most profitable. It's to engage the broad ranging community to give them, connectivity and travel options.
Awesome. Well, and I don't know if all of them you can necessarily mention, but I'll just ask, sometimes we have unique visitors that stop. I know one time a team had stopped here. Are there some of those that you can mention that sometimes we have that swing through, or I don't know if they stop here and then travel to where they go, but Watertown is utilized by many various travelers, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of sports teams use our airport for chartering to go to events. There are some VIPs, if you will, that come through. I think we can all figure out who those are. I'm not going to say it, but But it's a great asset to have for a community, and not just commercially, but our GA impact as well. So that's one of the big things I'm pushing this year, is to increase our GA footprint.
Because if individuals like that, obviously they have influence and they have reach and so on. So, one of those individuals sees something they like or runs to town and whatever, it just goes viral, or they reach 1,000 people or whatever. It just kind of reaches out. 1,000's not a number, Doreen. But
well, it's not just a subsidy, right? You're exactly right. It's not the direct money that someone spends to either purchase a ticket or buy fuel, but it's the profit from that fuel for that transportation company that pays the wage of the driver that delivers the fuel, or then that driver in town buys a sandwich whatever. So you've got your direct and indirect benefits from having this. And I think the last, don't quote me on this, but the last financial impact statement or study that was done, we had somewhere around $40 million direct and indirect just because of the airport. So it's an awesome asset to have.
Wow. And is in the airport, so like Air Force One landed there, right? So
yeah, back
like
when
it's
Obama
capable.
was in office. Yep. Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah, so it can handle Air Force One. So I mean, it's one heck of an airport.
There was a
then.
little back taxiing that had to happen there, but yep.
Wow,
But we still did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what right now, if you are talking to someone that is thinking of planning a trip, or I guess maybe you're not someone who does travel very often, so you're not very educated and you don't do the online stuff. What's the best way to kind of look and search for planning a trip?
A few of my staff's detriment, I would say just give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got questions, you can go ahead and give us a call and we'll help you out. We do that fairly often. People even walk in, hey, I need help booking a trip. I figured I could just come to the ticket counter and pay cash. It's not how things work anymore, unfortunately. I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
So we'll, help them either download the app on their phone or sometimes bring them up to the office and kind of get them set up and let them put their own information in, because we don't want to take anyone's credit card information. But we'll kind of walk you through the process, because it's all about helping folks and, just getting to where you want to go. But I'd say if you're thinking of planning a trip, definitely look at us before you just automatically assume that Sioux Falls is the answer. If they are a direct competitor, I'm just going to come out. I mean, I feel like we all know, but I feel like there's a common misconception that Sioux Falls is automatically cheaper, and that's just not the case. So just give us a shout out. And if there is an odd, maybe you do want to go to some obscure place in Texas or something, or throw out any destination, and the fare is very different, then let me know, because there might be a booking issue, a back-end software issue. That way, then I can get on top of it. And then, I screen scrape all the time, but some people will say, hey, fares right now for this destination are way different than X competitor or X competitor. So then I'll get on top of that, and then I'll talk to the airlines and kind of fix that issue.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that no matter the industry, it's gotten we're real quick to kind of screenshot and throw it on whatever website or go review on their Facebook, instead of maybe giving you the opportunity to kind of explain what's going on here. Why can I get it cheaper here, and so on, whatever the case may be. So I know there's a lot of different variables in there now.
Yeah, I wish I could pinpoint the science of how airlines algorithms work when booking. There's a tip out there that's floating around that Sundays at 2:00 in the morning, you book, you get the cheapest fare. Well, that's not going to be the case. We found it to be on Tuesday at 2:00 in the morning. But just, give yourself time to plan. If you are thinking of traveling, give yourself a couple months and then start doing that work of like, okay, well, it looks good at this time. Let's give it a week or two. Look at it a few days and just be a little bit savvy of how you book. And then more often than not, you're going to find our fares be super competitive.
Does the airport have promotions? Do you do campaigns or anything like that people can kind of watch for? Or?
I will always promote our airport. So come on down, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
Our free parking, ease of travel, just local access, that's our pull. And, we're here for the community. And it's, I wish we could say, hey, we're going to give the next 100 people that book $50 off their airfare. Unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the expense alone for one to like get ready to take off is ungodly if anybody's ever researched it. But plus all the security and all the other things too, it's absolutely amazing if they've ever gone through the new airport before. But you've got some cool amenities in there too. So you got Danger Von Dempsey's out there. They're generally out there when people are flying most all the time. So even if you want to grab a little bite and you're waiting for your flight, they're generally around hanging out there most of
Yeah,
the time.
and most days they're open at noon. So even if you want to, if you work near the airport, you want pizza, like award-winning pizza, stop on by. We're trying to boost their business too. They're a great partner to have. So having them gain business and foot traffic is always a plus.
And did you recently get approval for some new hangars too? So if you are a private flyer or even commercial, we can rent that through the airport as well? Or
right now we have 2 spots that could be utilized with existing infrastructure. Right now we're trying to get to a place where we've got all of our utilities and the physical structure in, because as I mentioned earlier, a vibrant GA footprint is invaluable for an airport, and the larger GA traffic or larger impact you have, the more people want to be at that airport. So it's kind of like, I use this analogy a lot, but if you're a duck hunter, you put out your decoys in the pond, ducks want to be where the other ones are. And so the more infrastructure, more hangars we have, it creates more of a smaller community within the airport community. So it's always a plus.
Yeah. Awesome. And business travel, everything like that. You guys basically have everything that anybody would need. So if it's corporate, commercial, anything like that, there aren't capabilities that you don't have, basically. So if you are a pilot or a corporate entity that happens to catch this, you guys can basically serve anything that they need, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, we've got space to develop, but also, another, fantastic partner. I mean, there are many on the airfield, but ATY Aviation is the fixed base operator, FBO, and they've got all of your MRO services, flight training. So anything that you need, courtesy car, they'll help you out.
Okay, very cool. And they do have cars you can rent too if people do come into town.
We've got Quest rental car service in the terminal, so you can just give them a call and they'll set you up and have your vehicle waiting for you. So yeah, they've been great.
Wow. Or you could just park there for free.
Correct.
Or have your friend park a car there for free for you to use or something. So,
save yourself $80, $90, $100 for parking fees and go on your trip.
Wow.
Yeah, stress-free.
That's how much it costs, huh?
Yeah, well,
wow.
I mean, if you're in the short-term close lot, I think it's in most places about $12 to $20 a day. So if you tack that on gas, time, it gets pretty expensive real fast.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Whew. Those white lines get expensive.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right.
Wow. Well, gosh, you wear a lot of different hats out there because you really you've only got like a handful of employees, right? Essentially.
Right. We have 6 full-time staff.
Wow. And you're running an entire airport out there, air traffic control and maintenance and snow removal, all sorts of things, really.
Yeah. Well, we don't have air traffic control, but everything else, yes. So maintenance, inspections, fire safety, just general safety. So there's a lot of behind the scenes action that goes into an airport and making everything run, not just direct staff, but, all of our partners from the city, engineering, finance, community development, but also WFR, huge shout out to them. Every time we have a commercial flight that comes in, per Part 139 regulation, they have to be alert and ready 30 minutes before and after the commercial op to ensure safety of that aircraft.
Wow. And that's just something maybe like you do it every time. So it's not like take it for granted, but it's just something you do, right? But like when you really think about it, if something ever happened, that's a really big deal that they have that in place and that you're ready. And just think of how that could change, save people's lives. So, I mean, that's amazing that they've got that, I think, together. So I always think that stuff's good to point out.
Well, every year we're federally regulated to be trained on 22 different topics. And every year we have to go through our training. This goes to fire safety, so response. We have an airport emergency plan that needs to be reviewed and disseminated from Prairie Lakes Hospital, WFR, Police Department, Cottington County Search and Rescue. So there's a lot of different aspects that play into it. And every year we have to do a tabletop exercise for an emergency that would happen just to kind of brush up on, make sure everybody knows exactly what the command structure looks like, how to operate. And then every third year, triannually, we have to full scale exercise. So we've got actors in place, we've got burning stuff, and then we've got actual fire response and safety procedures. So it's a lot goes into training and prevention to make sure that our guests are safe.
Wow. So you're not just on the phone calling and asking for cheaper ticket prices all day then?
No, that's a part of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Bugging our airline partners for competitive airfare definitely is a part of it, but yes.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff we could talk about, but is there anything that we didn't cover you want to make sure you kind of get out there? Or?
I just think we've got so many great infrastructure additions coming soon, and we're slowly creeping up to where we want to be. We're nowhere close to where my goal is for employments, but employments aren't the only measurement of a success of an airport. But that being said, I just implore everybody, like I said, give us a shot first before you just assume that, say, a Sioux Falls might be a better option. And then, like, if something does not look correct, then, reach out to me, and then maybe I can fix that for you before you actually have to book. And then you can fly through Watertown, because it's such an awesome asset to have.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I would imagine, if it's like most pricing things, if it's way out of range, there must be something, that's kind of going on there at least, or at least we can even learn. That's what I figured in retail. It's like, hey, at least let's see what we can figure out from it.
Right. And it could be anything from there's 3 seats left on your connections. That's why your connecting fare is more expensive. Or there's a routing issue, something that's going on, or crew times, insert a myriad of different reasons here. But if it doesn't look right, then I can always at least bring it to someone, and then we'll have a deeper dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Doreen, did you have any questions? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I had to double check, All right, good. Okay, well, thanks for coming in to share that. I've been wanting to get you in here to help break in the studio a little bit.
Yeah, it looks great in here. It's nice and homey. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Real stress-free.
We had the fireplace cracked up for you, so not quite nursing home heat in here yet, but we wanted it closed, So.
With this vest, I'm sweating a little bit.
I know it. Yeah. We do get it a little warm, but I like Doreen to stay comfortable. So, but we do encourage everybody to check it out. We'll put more information when we post these as well later, even though it's live. We'll have the links out there for Facebook and for the website. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, encourage people to reach out and check out anything else. And thank you again for coming in and sharing all this with us. So.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. Well, Doreen, you can get back to some music here, and that'll do it for Northeast